evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening. I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
Not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello, and welcome to Talking Dirty with your boy, me. First week in SimWorld Hoops, man, it's something special, man. It was something really nice. A lot of surprises and a lot of not so surprises. Let's talk about a couple. We're going to talk about it in relationship to the scouting game. And what does that mean? So, one team has started out 0-2. That is a mega surprise to everybody, myself included. That's the Breakers out of the Bay, or the Bay Area Breakers. Now, full disclosure, one of the teams that I pull for a lot of different reasons. And I hear a lot of people saying things to the effect of, there is too much talent on this team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is true. I do not disagree with that. What I will say, when you look at a squad with DeQuan Carter, Armand Green, Dime Hardaway, Juwan Harris, Trey Hammond, Sean Hammond, Adonis Knight, Jamie Ramos, CJ Rodman, Drew Wiggins, I see way too many players with exceptionally high IQs to maintain this level of performance. But let's look at the key points of what happened in those two games. In one game, your team shoots 36%, 23 of 63. Your opponent shoots 47.6%, 30 of 63. In another game, more on point, you shoot 51%, 51.7%. Your opponent, however, shoots 60.7%. Those great deficits in scoring are going to lead you into that playground of basketball, you know what, every time. Everything else was even across the board. Assists in both games were nearly tied, if not tied. So what is the difference? The difference is we did not see Bay Area's usual action on the ball. And by that, what I mean is this. I mean a team that's not only been effective in ball movement and being able to play on an unbalanced floor, which is a plus to keeping your opponents off stride, but a team that was also big in weak side movement. And I looked at both games, and that is exactly what I saw. It's very uncharacteristic for this particular team. Maybe things were being tried out, maybe things were being looked at, but I see them rectifying that with the intelligence of the players that are on this team. In order to move backside and make it effective, there are two things that Bay Area Breaker has that many other teams cannot necessarily lay claim to. Actually, if I want to be funky about it, there's quite a few things that they have. It starts with the Hymans, Trey and Sean, and their ability to move off of each other, wing position, flare, challenge, backside rim, that always gave them an advantage. And then you throw in a player such as Adonis Knight, with his flexibility and ability to cut and move through and do the things that he normally does. And I can go on all day, right, in terms of what these players have done and what they can do. What we see out of Dime Hardaway, his ability to manufacture needed points at the right moment, right, being where the ball is. And if you look at where his points came from, where did they come from? They came from weak side movement, off ball pressure, moving into the rim. Yeah, I won't go total geek nerd on you, but that just kind of shows you how athletic his game is. There were other players that you might have expected more from. That's fine. That's going to happen. Who's worried about that? But we're going to see this team actually fill up the gaps and fill in what's going to happen. But look for those things that happen with Bay Area Breakers, and trust me, we're going to talk about this 0-2 start like, it was just a bad dream. Hold your head, guys. You got this covered. Maestro's got you 100%. Fam, catch you on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game,
Be
be the
the
game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Welcome back to this half of Talking Dirty with your boy. This first week and a half, going on 2 weeks now, has brought a lot of surprises. We already have a coach out of the seat, and most of you who know Maestro, you know that's a triggering point for me for a lot of different reasons. Because one, I've only been a part of that situation twice. Once was in baseball, where we lost the coach midseason due to a conflict between coach, management, and ownership. But that's how I got my first head job. That's how I got my first head coaching job, women's basketball team at my college. The athletic director, who was brand new, an old line coach, had actually been with the college nearly 20 years, got into a fit 5 minutes before a game. I got thrown in from being the third assistant to becoming the head coach. Because when the coach was fired or quit, depending on whose version of the story you want to go with, the first assistant just left. And the second assistant didn't want the head job, and it became mine. So those moments are really triggering for me from that standpoint, because I know the effect of what happens on the other side. And if you remember when this happened last year, what was the one thing that I always said? That as the leadership of a team, the ability to show maturity to be able to work out situations is key, because you're also training and teaching that too. Now, no matter how it comes out, here's what eventually happens, and here's what we're going to talk about this half of this week's Talking Dirty with Maestro, is another coach is going to come in, or a coach coming off the bench, and they're not necessarily, either one are going to do things the way that they were done before. Because why? Why would you? That's not who you are as a coach. Even if you're not an experienced coach, even if it's your first time coaching, you bring certain things to the table that you remember from whether you were a player, how you watch the game, how you see the game, how you organize the game. And this is what I mean, because people who don't know will say, well, it's basketball, right? We want to put the ball in the basket. And that is not untrue. But how you get there is the key. In Western music, there's only 12 notes. There's only 12 notes in all of Western music. Now, they repeat in octaves and they go forth like that for those of my music people here. But those same 12 notes give you Beethoven and give you Prince. Those same 12 notes gives you the Bee Gees and gives you Cardi B. And I don't think anyone would dare say Mahalia Jackson sounds the same as Luther Vandross. I'm sorry, I know I went old school names on you there. I apologize. But the reality of it is this: how you put those 12 notes together are what determines the make of the song that the artist performs. And the same thing goes with coaches and how they see the game, how they put together the game, and how they organize the team in order to now score those buckets. All my old heads know everything for me starts with the baseline principles. No matter what our play is, whether it's on offensive, defense, these are our base principles. It's what we do on every single play, and then we work around it. Also, my old heads know one thing I've talked about a lot is, especially coming in with a new team, and we've talked about this before, and I want to hear your thoughts. I only have so many days before the first game. What I need to do is make sure that we can defend ourselves on the floor. By defend ourselves, I mean being able to play effective defense, be able to play efficient offense, to maneuver our way through the floor of the game and be successful. And that success entails quite a few things. And those things end up being the difference between wins and losses. It is a very fine line. We talked about that. Go back to the first half, right? Now, where are you going to see a game in which the field goal percentage points are going to be 100 points apart? Not in SimWorld Hoops. And that was the downfall of Bay Area Breakers, that they were basically the field goal percentage with that much of a differential. It's hard to overcome that for a win. And as close as they made the second game in that loss, it just shows you what a good team it is that they were able to be in that big of a hole in field goal percentage, but still make it such a close game. Not every team can do that. As a coach, those are the things you want to mitigate. You want to keep those swings as close as possible when you have your new team, and you want to be able to put your team in a position to take advantage of it and be on the plus side of that. I really do hope that the squads can work it out and work it through. We saw a lot of teams last year go without a coach. You know, one of my favorites last year that I always pull for, still pull for, the North. They finished out the season without a coach, and I'm so proud of those young men. So proud to say that I got a chance to watch them play and watch them do their art and watch them develop. But what's missing on the other side is without a coach and without leadership, there is no development, and that is the key of what we want to look for. We want to see development. And I know this second half wasn't as much about basketball as it was about team strategy and team cohesiveness. But again, that goes back to the point of whenever a coach either leaves a team or is taken from a team, especially this early in the season, not that the team cannot overcome, because they can, but they shouldn't have to. Yell at Maestro. Holla at your boy. Were there any mid-season coaching changes in any league at any point that not only got your attention, that turned out better than you thought it might have turned out? I know I have a couple in my mind. One I'm going to do a short on because it was my first experience with a professional team as a fan. I was a fan. I was young as a fan, my favorite team, and I saw something happen that I can never unsee. Let us know. Mid-season coaching changes that made a difference that might have surprised you. And how do you think that team overcame it? You know, we want to hear what you think. We want to know. We want to hear what's up. That's all I'm going to say. And when you eat your cottage cheese and it tastes like grape, you might want to turn on the light.
Like I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.